Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving for competitive exams. In today's lecture, we will continue with similarities and differences, and we'll discuss some exercise questions. Now, in the last few lectures, we discussed that there are 6 types of questions that can be formed from similarities and differences. These were, first were number series similarities. Then we discussed letter series, also known as alphabet series similarities. Then we discussed that there are figure series similarities. Then we discussed analogies. Then we looked at odd one out type of questions. And lastly, we discussed coding and decoding analogies. In today's lecture, we will discuss these first 3 types of questions, that is number series, letter or alphabet series, and figure series. So we'll discuss all these 3 in detail to give you a clear understanding of the concept. Now, let us start with type 1 number series similarities. So to understand the concept of number series similarities, I told you that there are certain concepts that you should revise. The first concept was prime numbers. What are prime numbers? Okay, from at least 1 till 100, you should remember. Then the concept of squares, at least up till 30. And similarly, the concept of cubes, at least till 15 or 20. So this much information you need to retain to be able to solve number series similarities. Now, in this question, we are given a series and we have to find the next number. So here I can clearly see it is 4 plus 2, which gave us 6. 6 plus 2, which gave us 8. 8 plus 2, which give us 10. And 10 plus 2 will give us 12. So our answer will be option number 4, 12. So this was the logic of adding plus 2 in the previous term, which gave us our next term. So our answer will be option number 4. Question number 2. What is the missing number in this particular series? So I told you that whenever a number is missing from any of the middle elements, the answer we have to make sure follows the same logic with the previous term and the next term. Now over here, I also told you that if you see such a big jumps in number, we can assume that it is a case of multiplication. So we have to check from multiplication whenever you see such a huge jumps in numbers. Okay, so let us see. From 3 to 9 is multiplication of 3. Similarly, from 9 to 27 will be multiplication of 3. So we have to multiply 27 by 3 to obtain the next missing element. So if we multiply 27 by 3, we'll get 81. Right? We'll get 81. Now we have to check whether multiplying 81 by 3 will give us 243. So if I multiply 81 by 3, I'll get 243. So putting 81 in this position will follow the same logic with the previous term and the next term. So our answer will be option number 3, 81. Now, which number should replace the question mark? And this is the series that is given to us. Now, as I told you, if you remember squares, you could easily identify that 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25. Similarly, 6 square is 36. So clearly, the missing element is 5 square. So here we'll get 25 as the answer, which is option number 2. Just for your reference, let us revise certain squares. 7 square is 49, 8 square is 64, 9 square is 81, 10 square is 100, 11 square is 121, 12 square is 144, 13 square is 169, 14 square is 196, and 15 square is 225, and so on. Okay, so this is why it is important to remember squares, because this clearly was a case of square series. Now, we have to find what comes next in this series. So if I look at this series from 2 to 5, if we are going, that means we are adding what? We are adding 3. From 5 to 10 we are going, we are adding 5. From 10 to 17 if we are going, we are adding 7. Similarly, I can see we are adding plus 3, plus 5 and plus 7. So we are adding consecutive odd numbers. So if I add consecutive odd number, that is 9 to 17, I'll get 26. Now we have to check whether it will follow the same logic with 37 as well. So the next consecutive odd number after plus 3, plus 5, plus 7, plus 9 will be plus 11. So if I add 26 to 11, my answer will be 37. So if I put 26 in this position, it will follow logic with the previous number as well as the next number. So our answer will be option number 2, 26. This will be the correct answer. Now, we have to find the missing number in this series. Now, I can clearly see that if we add 12 in 12, we'll get 24. Similarly, if I add 12 in 24, I'll get 36. If I add 12 in 36, I'll get 48. So logically, 48 should be the correct answer. Now we'll check whether 48 follows the same logic with 60. So if I add 12 in 48, I'll get 60. Yes. And if I add 12 in 60, I'll get 72. So the logic is plus 12, plus 12, plus 12, plus 12, and plus 12. So 48 is a number which satisfies the same logic with the previous number as well as the next number. The 48 will be the correct answer, which is option number 3. Now let us move on to the letter series, or also known as alphabet series. For letter series or alphabet series, there were 4 concepts that I told you to remember. The first concept was of forward ranks, in which we assign numbers to the alphabets in an ascending order. The next concept was of backward rank. In backward rank, we assign numbers to the alphabets in a descending order. There was 2 concepts for forward rank and backward rank. First was that forward rank plus backward rank is always equals to 27, right? This can also be written as, if we do not know the backward ranks can be found out by subtracting the forward rank from 27. So this was also a concept that we discussed. Another concept was shortcut to remember forward rank, which was AJORTY. So in this, E is 5, J is 10, O is 15, T is 20, and Y is 25. So this was also a concept that we discussed to remember forward ranks. Then we discussed the concept of opposite letters. So opposite letters, we used to write letters in a certain way, that A to M. Then below this, we used to start with N up till Z, where A is opposite Z and M is opposite N. So this was a concept of opposite letters. Then we also discussed the concept of loop. What do you mean by loop? If we have X, Y, Z and we have to move 2 positions forward from Z, we'll start again by A and D, since there are no alphabets after Z. So this was also a concept that we discussed. Okay, so these were all the concepts that we discussed in alphanumeric series as well as encoding decoding, and this is a concept that comes in very handy for solving questions related to letter series, or also known as alphabet series. Okay, so in this question, let us give them forward ranks. So A is first, 1 rank, D is 4. Similarly, G is 7, J is 10. So here I can see we are going plus 3, here also plus 3, here also plus 3. So next rank will also come 3 positions forward, which will give us the 13th rank. And 13th rank belongs to M. So our answer will be option 3M, which will be our correct answer. Now, what letter should replace the question mark in this series? So let us give them ranks. B is ranked at 2. Similarly, E is ranked at 5. J is ranked at 10. And Q is ranked at 17. So if I see over here, 2 plus 3 gave me 5. Similarly, 5 plus 5 gave me 10th position. 10 plus 7 gave me 17th position. So we are adding consecutive odd numbers. So 17th plus 9 will give me 26th position. So here we'll have the 26th position, and 26th position clearly belongs to the alphabet Z. So our answer will be option number 1, Z. Okay. Now, again a question in which we have to find the next element. So clearly, let me give them forward ranks. J is ranked at 10. K is ranked at 11. M is ranked at 13. P is ranked at 16. T is ranked at 20, and then we have to find the missing element. So here I can see that if I move one position forward from 10, I'll get 11. If I move 2 positions forward from 11, I'll get 13th position. Similarly, if I move 3 positions forward from 13, I'll get 16th position. If I move 4 positions forward from 16, I'll get 20th position. So what we are doing, we are moving 1 position ahead, then 2 positions ahead, then 3 positions ahead, and 4 positions ahead. Similarly, we will move 5 positions ahead. So if from 20 I'll move 5 positions ahead, I'll get the 25th position. So 25th position clearly belongs to Y, which is option number 4. So the correct answer to this question will be option number 4, Y. Okay. Now, what letter should replace the question mark in this particular series? So this is a missing element series. Here I can see, let me write it like this. E is 5th position. Similarly, H is 8th position. M is 13th position. This position is missing. And then C is again 3rd position. So from here to here, I can see that we are moving 3 positions forward. From here to here, I am moving 5 positions forward. So let's say from here to here, I move 7 positions forward because we are moving consecutively, right? So if I move 7 positions forward, 13 plus 7 will give me how much? 20th position. And then I would have to move 9 positions forward. So 20 plus 9 will give me 29th position. Now there is no 29th position, right? So X, Y, Z. Z is 26th position. So to reach 29th position, that means we have to move forward 3 positions more, 27, 28 and 29. So we'll start again from A, B, C. So after moving 9 positions from 20th position, we'll go back again at 3, which is C. So the missing element over here, which follows the same logic with the previous term as well as the next term, will be the 20th term. And 20th term is T. So our answer will be option number 1, T. I hope this is clear. Okay. So let us move forward. You can see clearly we are adding consecutive odd terms. Now, which letter series comes next in this particular series? So D we know is ranked at 4. G we know is ranked at 7. Similarly, K is ranked at 11 and P is ranked at 16. So if we look at this question, 4 plus 3 ranks will give me 7. Similarly, 7 plus 4 ranks will give me 11. And 11 plus 5 ranks will give me 16. So what is it that we are following? We are following plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. So the next element will be 6 positions forward. So in 16, if I go 6 positions forward, I'll get 22nd position. And 22nd position clearly belongs to V. So our answer will be option number 4, V. Okay. So this concludes letter series. Now we come to figure series similarities. This is also known as object and shape series similarities. In these type of questions, we are given certain figures. So this is the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element. And we have to find out the next element in the series. This is how these questions work. Okay. So we have to find out the next element in the series. Okay. Now, if I look at this question and let us see the middle term. So if this middle term, this from this position, it came this position. That means it rotated anti-clockwise. How many degrees? 45 degrees? Correct? From here to here, it again rotated anti-clockwise 45 degrees. If you remember, during following directions, I told you about degrees. So let me just revise, okay? So if we are facing this position, if I go this much, this is what? 90 degree. If I go this much from the initial position, this is 45 degrees. Similarly, if I go this way, this whole angle will be 180 degrees. And then we discussed also anti-clockwise and clockwise. So just imagine a clock. If we are moving along with the direction of the clock like this, it is called a clockwise direction. Similarly, if we go in the opposite direction of a clock like this, it is called a anti-clockwise direction. So here you can see it is moving in an anti-clockwise direction. So 45 degrees anti-clockwise, 45 degrees anti-clockwise, then again 45 degrees anti-clockwise, and lastly 45 degrees anti-clockwise. So here I can see it is moving anti-clockwise 45 degrees. So if I have to move 45 degrees anti-clockwise, it will be something like this. I'll be facing which direction? If you remember the chart of directions I told you, this was north, this was south, this was east, and this was west, wherein this direction was southeast, this direction was northwest, and this direction was northeast, and this direction was southwest. So we discussed all this in direction and different following directions, right? So this direction is southeast. So my figure will be if I move anti-clockwise from this direction, my figure will be in southeast direction. So in southeast, I have these three options. So I can clearly eliminate this option. Now let us look at the other thing. If I look at Z, okay, I'm just looking at Z. From here, I'm using a different ink to emphasize, okay? From Z, it is moving over here. So it just moved one position up, right? From here, it got here. That means it just moved one position up, correct? From this position, it got this position. That means it just moved one position this. So Z is also moving in the anti-clockwise direction. Z is also moving one position anti-clockwise. Correct? From here, again, one position anti-clockwise direction. So Z should come one direction, one position anti-clockwise. So one position anti-clockwise will get me Z over here. Out of all these three options, only this option has Z in this place. And this is also correct. So answer will be option number 4. So whenever you get questions like this on figure series similarities, you don't have to check for each and every element, because there are how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 elements are there. This will take a lot of time. So just check for the change in elements. So out of all these options, this we eliminated. Now out of all these three options, I saw that Z are in different places. So just based on Z, we can find the answer. So answer will be option number 4. This figure. Now, question number 2. Here I can see this, if I look at this boundary, this figure has a boundary. So we have to find the missing figure, right? This figure has a boundary like this. This figure has a boundary like this. Similarly, this figure has a boundary like this, and this figure has a boundary like this. So here it got like this. It is moving like this, correct? So now my bound up till here, it got down, it faced this side, it faced this side, it faced this side, and it faced this side. So it completed all the directions. Now I see that it got back up to this side. So after completing 4 turns, it came back like this. So this means it got into anti-clockwise direction, right? Up till this direction, up till this 4, up till these 4 elements, it was going in a clockwise direction. Correct? But now it went into anti-clockwise direction. So the next step, the next anti-clockwise direction will be this direction. So it will be like this. And out of all the 4 options, I can see only option number 2, the boundary is like this. Only in option number 2. So my answer will be option number 2. Okay, option number 2 will be the correct answer. Now, if we look at the arrow, it is facing like this, then downwards. So first it is facing towards east, then northeast, then it is facing west, then southeast, then northwest. Now again it is facing east. So logically, if it is repeating, next will be also southeast. So out of all these, southeast is everywhere. Now let us look at the rectangle. If I look at over here, rectangle is moving one position. From this position, it went to this position. So one position forward. In which direction? In clockwise direction. Right? From here, it went here. So this was one position and one position. So 2 positions forward in clockwise direction. From here, it went here. So 1, 2, and 3. Correct? So 3 positions clockwise. Similarly, from here to here will be how much? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 positions clockwise. So now the rectangle will go 5 positions clockwise. So 5 positions clockwise will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So my rectangle will be in this corner. In this corner, we have only option 1, 3, and 4. So option 2 is eliminated. Now, if I look at, so we check for rectangle and we check for arrow also. Now, here I can see that T is at this position, then it moves forward 2 positions and disappears. Then we get C, which also moves forward 2 positions and disappears. Then we get star. So star should also move 2 positions forward. It should come here. So out of all the given options, only 4 has star over here, rectangle over here, and this is facing the southeast direction. So our answer will be option number 4. Option number 4 is the correct answer. Now, in this question, we have to find the next element. So from this series to this series, I can see that these 4 arrows have been inverted. So these 4 arrows have been inverted from this series to this series. From this series to this series, I can see that these 4 arrows have been inverted. So this is facing now this direction, opposite direction, opposite direction, opposite direction, opposite direction. Correct? Now, from this figure to this figure, I can see that these 4 have changed directions. Correct? These 4 have changed directions. From here, that these 4 have changed directions. They became opposite. So here, let's say if this was a square, first this position was changed, then these 4 positions were changed, then these 4 positions were changed, and then these 4 positions were changed. So now we'll come back to the same pattern and change these 4 positions. Correct? So if I change these four positions, my arrows will be something like this. This will remain same. This will not change. Only these arrows will change. So this will come downside, this will come upside. Similarly, this will come downside and this will come downside. So out of the four options, if you look at option number 2, we have something similar. The arrows are facing in this direction. So the answer will be option number 2. Okay. So what we did nothing but we looked at the change of the arrow. So in each step, 4 arrows were changing. So first, if you imagine a box and you imagine 1, 2, or you imagine 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and here also let's imagine 1, 2, 3. Firstly, these 4 were changing, then these 4 were changing, then these 4 were changing, then these 4 were changing. So now automatically we'll come back to these 4, which is these arrows. So they changed and option number 2 will be the correct answer. Now, question number 5. We are given this pair. This is pair number 1. Similarly, this is pair number 2. And we have to find the missing element in this pair. Now, over here, we have to analyze first the relationship between these two elements, and then we have to apply the same logic between these two elements. Correct? So let us see. Over here, I can see that this is the inner image. This triangle is the inner image. Similarly, this circle is the inner image. Correct? And this square is the outer image. So inner, and outer. That means this diamond should be the inner image. This pentagon should be the inner image. And this circle should be the outer image. So if we see this is an outer circle, this is an outer circle, and this is an outer circle. So clearly option number 4 is eliminated. Now if we see that pentagon should be the inner image. So pentagon is inner. So option number 3 is also eliminated. Then we have to see the diamond. Diamond should be the inner image. So here we have diamond as the inner image. Here we do not have diamond as the inner image. So option number 2 is also eliminated. So if I have this image, so if inside a pentagon, I have a diamond. Inside a circle, I have a pentagon. And inside a circle, I have a diamond. I have something like this. So this is the inner image, this is the inner image, and this is the outer image. So with option number 1, it follows the same logic. Hence our answer will be option number 1. So here you can see the solution. The first 2 symbols, the inner symbols are written, and for the last symbol, outer symbol is written. Okay, so this is how you solve figure series similarities question. So this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.